Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are closing out this Friday of College Football Bowl Championship Series playoff games with the Maaco Bowl, Las Vegas, a rematch from last year. The Boise State Broncos and the Florida State Seminoles, Mountain West versus the ACC. Last year they met on the blue. It came down to one final play. Christian Ponder would throw an interception at the 5-yard line, getting ready to score and tie it up to send the Broncos on to round number 2 with the 7-point win. This is the second ever appearance for Florida State in the BCS Playoff. This is the 5th for Boise State. They've been here every year the playoffs have been in existence. In the first year, 2007, eliminated in the first round. The next year, Kellen Moore's freshman year, completely undefeated, Boise State won the national championship. Kellen Moore's sophomore year, the Broncos returned to the Bowl Championship Series playoffs, made it back to the national title game. They were defeated on a last-second Hail Mary play by the Arizona Wildcats. They lost that one by 6 points, their first loss in more than 2 years. The next year, Kellen Moore's junior year, back in the BCS playoffs, they got eliminated in the second round by the Oklahoma Sooners after a victory over these Florida State Seminoles. The winner of this game will go on to battle the Big East champs West Virginia in the second round. For Boise State, that was the worst defeat they ever had in BCS playoffs history, eliminated in round 1 to West Virginia more than 4 years ago. For Florida State, they're trying to avenge last season's loss to these Boise State Broncos and make it to the first round for the second time. It's Chris Peterson versus Jimbo Fisher. It's Boise State and Florida State. Number 7 versus number 26. The Seminoles at 8-4 against the Broncos at 11-1. It's 2nd and 10. Kellen Moore finds his man. That was Matt Miller, this phenomenal freshman who's just come out of nowhere to have a great season for the Broncos. Redshirt freshman, I do believe, from Helena, Montana. There you see Buster Bronco. It'll be a fresh set of downs for Boise. This playoff essentially created, because of the Broncos, the controversy that was caused after the end of the 2006 year. Kellen Moore finds another open receiver, Matt Miller. It was at the end of the 2006 season. Our national champions had one loss. Boise State was the only undefeated team in the nation. That's a fumble on the play. Doug Martin fumbles it, and the Seminoles recover the ball. So a huge blunder for Doug Martin in the early going. That one was jarred out of there by the Florida State Seminoles, jarred out by Christian Jones. So it'll be Seminole football. Anyway, it was created when we had one undefeated team left in the nation, and they weren't crowned national champion. Everyone got together, the committees got together, and they decided to put this playoff into place. And the Broncos have been the one that have benefited from it the most because they've been in the national championship twice, one of only 2 teams to have gone to the national title game twice since the system's been implemented. The other one is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Broncos trying to make it to their 3rd national title game, and that would be Kellen Moore's 3rd national championship game appearance. And they're not going to make it if they keep playing like this, as the Florida State Seminoles are rolling down the field. And you saw quarterback E.J. Manuel hook up with his wide receiver, big number 83, Burt Reed. And the Seminoles are looking like they want to strike. The Maaco Bowl, Las Vegas, the 20th anniversary of this bowl game. 1st down and 10 for the Noles. This is a rematch from last year. Manuel, touchdown, Florida State. So they capitalize on the Boise State blunder. E.J. Manuel to Rashad Green into the end zone. And that is a touchdown for the Florida State Seminoles. FSU Here comes the point after attempt. Kick is away. Kick is good. Seminoles, Jimbo Fish, they take advantage of your turnovers, and that's what good teams do. Bad teams, they get the turnovers, but they don't take advantage. The Noles, they got the turnover, and they took complete advantage of it, and that's exactly what you got to do if you want to try to make it through the Bowl Championship Series unscathed. Right now, the Broncos have a big wound on them, trailing 7-0. Kellen Moore trying to make it to his third national championship game in 4 years. He would certainly have a special place in college football if he could pull that feat off. They give it back to Doug Martin. He was the one that laid it on the turf. And Doug Martin, he has been suffering through some injuries this season for the Broncos, so perhaps understandable that he did come up with a fumble. Another handoff to Martin, and he gets tackled at the line for a gain of 0. And on 3rd down and 8, Boise State is in danger, and they're going to have to put the ball up in the air. 5 wide for the Broncos and Kellen Moore. 1st down, completed to Geraldo Boldevine, one of the 3 student athletes who was unfairly had playing time cut from them by the NCAA for an investigation they found out to be completely false. And I wonder if these players will get compensated in any way for missing those games. But Boldevine is here and came up with a clutch 1st down play for the Broncos. So new set of downs for Chris Peterson and company. They go right back to Doug Martin, and he's having a rough time getting his game going. He's brought down. Brings up 2nd down and 11. These two, again, the game last year came down to one final play. It came down to the wire. What's going to happen this year? And Kellen Moore was able to find Kyle Efall, the tight end, good for 4 yards. They say 5. Well, he did. Yeah, Doug Martin did lose a yard on the play, so that was a 5-yard gain. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Broncos. The line is stacked right now. Moore under pressure, and down went Kellen Moore. So they're going to have to punt it away. Another nice job by the Seminole defense. And that one is going to be fielded at the 10, up to the 20. Breaking free down to the 29-yard line. And now we'll see how E.J. Manuel and this Florida State team attempts to add on to the lead. We are in shotgun. We got Trips out on the near side. Lots of time for Manuel. He finally gets pressured and finds a open receiver, but doesn't get much further than that. The Seminoles, they've dealt with so many injuries this year. And they're just trying to figure out a way to overcome them, and this would be a good start here. Inside handoff. 1st down, 12-yard pickup for the running back. Or is that the running back, or is that... Well, nonetheless, it'll be 1st down and 10. And they give it to the back again. Yes, that is the running back. That is Devonta Freeman. Wearing number 4 today. He's normally number 8. And he's stepped in there for an injured running back. And they give it to Freeman once again. And Freeman's met in the back by a whole host of Boise Broncos. Back there I saw Phoebus got in on the tackle, and Shea McClellan. 3rd and 10. Manuel is going to have to throw it now. Batted away, incomplete. Well covered by the Broncos. Double coverage by Boise State. And on 4th down, FSU is going to punt it away. This will be the final game for tonight, and then Saturday, a fresh new set of games. And after that, we will be on to round number 2, just like that. We'll finally figure out who is the elite of the elite cutting down from 32 to 16 and then 16 to 8. And, oh, Kellen Moore got someone to jump. And it's going to be a free play, so that one's going to be declined. Tyler Shoemaker with the grab. Brandon Jenkins jumped offside, but it's no matter for Boise State. They decline it. They get the first down, and fresh set of downs here at the 33-yard line. Moore sends his man in motion. Kellen Moore will take the snap, and that one's knocked down, incomplete, and for whoever wins this game, I know they were watching, and that one was knocked down by Joyner. They were watching the West Virginia-Wisconsin game. They got to be scared of Geno Smith and the way that he played. The winner of this team's got to contend with that next week. Kellen Moore under pressure, heaves it up there, looking for Miller. It fell incomplete. Well protected by Mike Harris, and that will be the end of the first quarter. It's Florida State 7 and Boise State 0 here in Vegas, the 20th anniversary of the Maaco Bowl, Las Vegas. Last year in this bowl, it was Nebraska and Nevada. Nevada holding the home field advantage, and Nebraska came in here, put up 50-plus points, and sent the Wolfpack home. Moore will take this one out of the gun. He's pressured again, gets it out to Doug Martin, and Doug Martin lowers the boom to get close to the first down, but it's not enough. 4th and 3, and Boise is going to have to punt it away. E.J. Manuel and these Florida State Seminoles, number 26 in the nation, deep down the field, blown coverage by the Broncos, but Manuel overthrows his wide receiver in a bad way, looking for Rodney Smith, way overthrew him. 2nd and 10, another shot from Manuel, and he connects with Smith again. Smith nearly breaks through. Oh, Smith wanted that touchdown one play ago, but I'm sure he'll take that without a doubt. Smith with the grab. Missed tackles all the way for the Broncos, and then finally, at the last possible minute, Thompson got in there and brought him down. Or not Thompson, excuse me, that was Hunter White. New set of downs. Manuel throws it. Was he not beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball? Chris Peterson thinks so. He's getting frustrated right now. Wondered where's the flag. That's Pryor with the 4-yard grab. And that's going to be a tackle for a gain of no yards by Freeman, the backup running back, Devonta Freeman. He's a freshman. He's in there backing up injured FSU running back Chris Thompson, and that one's floated out to Freeman, and down goes Freeman, and brings up a 4th down. They're going to have to kick a long field goal. 55 yards. Here comes the kick. And it's in there, though. How impressive. Hopkins has been good on the year for Florida State. He's made 1 out of 3 from 50-plus yards, but besides that, he's only missed 1, 2, 3 field goals on the year. Why wasn't he up for Kicker of the Year? Oh, that's right, because he plays in the ACC, and they only give those awards to SEC and Big 12 players. 1st 10 for Boise State. And they're trying to overcome the 10-point deficit. But if anybody can do it, it's Kellen Moore. He's been in this position many times before. He's been to the national championship twice before. Gabe Linehan will come up with that reception. 2nd down and 4. Kellen will option. No, he'll keep it himself and pick up 1 yard. And option play was really well defended by Florida State. 3rd down and 3. Play action. Moore. So much time. Open receiver. 1st down. Kellen Moore just rolled out, and if he was a scrambling kind of quarterback, probably could have done that one himself, but he's not. He's a gunslinger, and he put it right where his receiver needed it to. Hand off to Doug Martin, and Martin for a 5-yard gain. And that's more like the Doug Martin we know. The hard-nosed, heavy-hitting running back. 2nd and 5 at the 43. 5 wide for Kellen. 1st down and more. Up to the 40-yard line. That was Kirby Moore. Kellen Moore to brother Kirby Moore. Just like they've been doing in the backyard all their lives. Now they're doing it on the biggest backyard of all. The BCS Playoff. The Bowl Championship Series. Play action fake to Doug Martin. They love doing that play at Boise. They fake it. That's how they beat Virginia Tech last year. Play action fake right over the middle. And that's Kyle Efaw. 1st down, Boise. Held scoreless until, we're 2 minutes away from halftime. Boise is yet to score. That's a victory in and of itself for Florida State. Martin only able to pick up 1 on the run. Second down and 9, and Chris Peterson calls a timeout. 1:31 to go. Moore has time, end zone, open receiver, incomplete. Single covered, was looking for Matt Miller, and it fell incomplete. So it'll be 2nd down, or 3rd down and 9, 2 for 4. From 3rd down conversion for the Broncos. Make that 3 for 5. Kellen Moore connects with an open man for the 1st down, and now it's 1st and goal for the Broncos. Hand off to Doug Martin, and down goes Doug Martin. 2nd and goal. Frustration right now you can see on the face of Martin. Moore throws an interception. Oh, man. I don't know if his receiver ran the right route or what happened. Oh, yeah, he was looking for Efaw, and Efaw went the wrong way. Intercepted by Florida State by LaMarcus Joyner, and Efaw broke the wrong way, and that led to the interception. A costly miscue. But on the option play, an even more costly miscue to go for an option this deep. And that's going to be a safety, and Boise State will get the ball back. They always find strange ways to score points to these Broncos. Freeman tackled in the end zone, and Kellen Moore will have a shot at redemption. I'm not so sure. For Mitch Burrows, you don't just let that bounce and go out of bounds. You get the ball at the 35. 40-yard line, I guess. Not much difference anyway. Well, the Broncos have 1 timeout. They have 53 seconds on the clock. Here comes Moore. Incomplete. Kellen Moore does not take many of those. He got hit hard. 2nd and 10. Moore's pressured again. That's going to be a sack. Down he goes. FSU came to play tonight. 44 seconds to go, and they decided to just run it with Martin. He doesn't get too far. Now they got to kick it away. They cannot take advantage of the punt off of the safety. And that'll give Florida State 33 seconds to do something with the football. Emmanuel's going to run it, and Emmanuel immediately gets thrown down. Brought down on the play by Billy Wynn. 2nd and 12. Emmanuel out of the gun once again. Does he dare try to run it again? No, he's going to go deep. Incomplete. 3rd and 12 for the Noles. Looking for their first 3rd down conversion of the day. Emmanuel batted down, incomplete. Good coverage by the Broncos. That forces a punting situation. That one, Jamar Taylor batted it down for Boise State. And this should be the final play of the half. The Broncos of Boise, with just 1 loss to their name, they're held to just 2 points in the first half by Florida State. It's FSU 10 and Boise State 2. What's going to happen in the second half? Well, we'll let you know in a couple of moments. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sam Boyd Stadium, 20th anniversary of the Maaco Bowl, Las Vegas. It's Boise State and Florida State, a rematch from last year's Bowl Championship Series game. And it's been all Florida State in the early going, but really when you think about it, it's been all defense. The only reason that Florida State's got the lead is because of capitalizing on a Boise State turnover. In fact, Boise's had 2 of them in the first half, uncharacteristically. But Florida State there will take advantage of 1 of them, and that makes the score 10-2. And that's been the story of the game on both sides of the ball. Hard-nosed, smash-mouth defense. Devonta Freeman knocked backwards. 2nd and 12. Manuel heaves it down the field and incomplete. So 3rd down and 12. Emmanuel is looking for anything. It's not as one-sided as the scoreboard would have you think. Again, Florida State just taking advantage of a couple of Boise State blunders. Other than that, it's been pretty even. Emmanuel, another big throw. And that one was tossed into triple coverage. Lucky it wasn't intercepted, but probably better for the Broncos it wasn't, because you'll get some better field position. That's why they just batted it away. 4th down and 12. Here comes the big kick. And Nate Potter will set the Boise State Broncos up at around the 32-yard line. That's where 2-time national championship quarterback Kellen Moore marches back onto the field, and down he goes. Where is the offensive line? That's the 2nd sack on Kellen Moore today, and that's Joyner, the safety blitz, just slipping through the cracks, and part of that is Doug Martin's got to come up and throw the block. He didn't do it. Takes us down to a 2nd and 14. The ball now pushed back to the 28-yard line. They give it to Martin, and he's going to get nothing. Third and 14. It's just going to take one big play on either side of the ball to break this thing open. Inside handoff to Doug Martin, and he's going to get a couple of yards, but nothing more than that. 4th and 8. Boise State playing pretty conservative at this point, trusting their defense to continue to come up with the big stops. Ball's fielded at the 25-yard line, breaking free up to the 38. And that's where E.J. Manuel and the Seminoles will take back over. And they give it to Freeman. And he gets 7. E.J. Manuel. And down goes that. Down goes Smith. Lots of running from both of these teams tonight. And Manuel goes back to pass. First down, FSU. That's completed to Smith. Take a look at the route. Smith just gets burned by his defender, and he was open, and George Iloka got there eventually. But other than that, that's just a well-run play by the Seminoles. They move the ball down to the 36. EJ trying to scramble. Eventually gets past his line. There goes EJ, and he slides down. How about that run? Took him a while to break past the offensive line, and he eventually made it happen. Boise State, they're in danger right now. Maybe dropping their second BCS playoff game ever in the first round. Auctions it out to Freeman. And Freeman will rush for 7 yards. Devonta Freeman. 2nd and 3 now. E.J. Manuel. End zone. Oh, nearly intercepted by George Iloka. Instead, it goes incomplete. And it'll take us to a 3rd down and 3. Oh, and down goes Thomas. 4th and 1. Kick is put through by Florida State kicker Dustin Hopkins. That will extend the lead 13-2. It's so weird for Boise State to be held without any offensive points this far. But if they score, I mean, they're right back in this thing. It'll be a 4-point game. But that's all up to Kellen Moore and this offense right now to get going. Maaco Bowl, Las Vegas. The long trip for Florida State doesn't look like it's affecting them that well. They're rolling right now. Moore's going to option. Now he keeps it himself. Moore's going to lose 14 yards. That's been a big problem for Boise State so far in this game. Is every time they get out onto the field for a 2nd or 3rd down, it's always long. It's never short. It's always 2nd and long, 3rd and long. And now Chris Peterson trying to amend that by going 5 wide. And Geraldo Boldevine gets the catch to make it a 3rd and short. That's what we need to see right now for Kellen, is more of that. More big, furious throws for Kellen Moore and company. 3rd down and 5. Under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Inside to Doug Martin, and they're taking the ball out of Kellen Moore's hands. Wow. You take the ball right out of Moore's hands, and it leads you to a 4th down and 3, and a big opportunity for Florida State. If they can drive down and score, that might put this one out of reach, because there's not a whole lot of time to spare. E.J. Manuel, this is his opportunity. Play action. Open receiver. Freeman, the freshman, for 8 yards. Chris Peterson starting to get nervous right now, wondering why his team didn't show up to play tonight at the Maaco Bowl. And his defense sure did. Defense came to play. Defense already helped out with 2 points. And good plays like this. Well, we're going to the 4th quarter. It's a low-scoring game in Vegas. Who would have thought? Boise State 2 and Florida State 13. It comes down to these last few minutes. Who wants it more? It's still anybody's ball game at this point. It's down to who wants it more. Under the lights here in Vegas, the bright lights, the night sky. Manuel will throw it. Batted away, incomplete, and the Boise State defense says right now we want it more. George Iloka has been all over the field tonight, coming up with heads-up plays like that. On 4th and 5, forcing another punt for Florida State. And Mitch Burrows, or Potter, Nate Potter, will get to about the 19-yard line and no further. Well, Boise State, they need to come up with 2 more scores before this game is up. They give it to Doug Martin, his best run of the day. 8 yards on the ground. And we know that Kellen Moore's been dealing with an injury a little bit this year. Maybe he's more injured than Boise State's letting on, because they're really taking the ball out of his hands, especially in these clutch situations late. Trying to let Doug Martin do some stuff on the ground. 2nd and 2. Moore. And Efall for the first down, and Moore's up over 100 yards passing. You see his numbers down on the screen. Give it to Doug Martin, and there's another really good run from Martin, 6-yard pickup. You need 2 scores, though, with 4 minutes to go, so can't do too many more plays. They're going to kill the clock like that. 5 wide, they might try to get a lot of this yardage back. First down, and knocked out of bounds, Geraldo Boldevine. Really well-thrown ball by Moore. Boldevine, yes, good catch, both feet in bounds. That's one for the NFL scouts. 3:50 to go in the game. Boise's a couple of yards out from FSU territory. Pressure on the outside. Moore avoids it, goes down the field, and throws the interception. He was pressured and threw an interception. Oh my goodness. Florida State trying to pull off the upset, holding the Broncos to just 2 points. That would be 0 points offensively. What an accomplishment that would be for them. Moore has already thrown 2 interceptions in the game. Freeman takes it. Freeman has the block. Florida State's going to the house, and that might seal this game for FSU. They might pull off the revenge against the Boise State Broncos. Missed assignments, missed tackles. Florida State just blocked well on that play. And that will probably do it for the Broncos. Wow. The extra point will make it 20-2. That's an 18-point lead for Florida State over Boise. Broncos will field that one deep, and they're going to run it back, and down goes Potter. 3.5 minutes to go, and it's not looking good for the Broncos. They're 3 scores that they need. That's a good start, though. Oh, it's fumbled. That's a horrible start. Back to Florida State. Boise State has made so many uncharacteristic mistakes, and that was Mitch Burrows. Was he down? But wait a minute. Let's see. He might have been down before that ball came out. We might get a booth review. We will. Yeah, I think that knee was on the ground. Yes, it was. One more angle.
After review, call on the field is overturned.
The play is reversed. So now, Boise State still has some life in them. Kellen. Oh, incomplete throw. Second down and 10 now for the Broncos. Moore. Interception number 3. One-handed pick. Oh my goodness. Waiting in the wings. That one was double covered. This is a day that the Broncos just want to forget, for Kellen Moore to end his career like this. Man, oh man. Boise State might want to start thinking about burning their timeouts at this point. 3 Kellen Moore interceptions. Wow. Freeman on the handoff. And he's going to go down. Third down and 11. That's the most shocking thing to me, is just that 2 points next to Boise State. That's all they were able to manage. 0 offensive points. Just stunning. And we have a flag.
Dead ball. One start on the offense. Still third down.
That'll back up Florida State. And you can see the third down conversion. Florida State didn't play that much better than Boise tonight. I mean, both teams came out pretty flat. Manuel was able to get to his man, and no timeouts are being called for the Broncos. I think they're just they're ready to just let this one come to an end. At least Chris Peterson is. No timeouts are being called. 4th down and 2. So that would mean that Florida State would move on. They would take on West Virginia in round number 2. This will be Florida State's first ever trip to the second round, and avenging last season's defeat over the Boise State Broncos. The kick is away. The kick is put through. And Florida State will increase their lead to 21 points. With 1 minute to go, I don't know. Do you think 3 touchdowns can happen in 1 minute? See how much of a miracle worker Kellen Moore truly is. Game tracks. Interceptions. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that Kellen Moore he might be more injured than he's really letting on here tonight, especially this season. And the Broncos, they were able to take care of business against the same team last year, but it's a whole different story this year. And Moore's going to throw that one incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Moore's pressure, down he goes. Another sack. Offensive line not doing their job tonight. Doug Martin. And they're punting it away. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a Boise State team give up like that, but they sure decided this game's all but over. Not even trying to put any offensive points on the board. 23-2. That's all that could be said. Florida State will take a knee, and they will be moving on to do battle with West Virginia. That is going to do it. What an upset. A stunning upset. 8-4 Florida State. Here in Las Vegas. Look at them. They're storming the field. Avenging last season's defeat over the Boise State Broncos 23-2. And your play of the game was the big 70-plus yard run by the freshman Freeman. Took it all the way down for the score, and that one ripped the hearts out of the Boise State Broncos. Only the 2nd time in history they're being sent home after the 1st round. Everett Dawkins, your player of the game. 2 sacks, fumble recovery, 3 tackles. And it's going to be a quiet, somber ride back to Boise, Idaho. The Mountain West eliminated from the Bowl Championship Series. Both TCU and Boise State out by the ACC. Who would have thought it? Here are the only points of the game for the Broncos. Man, oh man. Some final snapshots here from Las Vegas. And George Iloka with the hands on his head. That tells the story. But for Florida State, big victory from them. They live to fight another day. And the 2 teams that kind of pulled the upsets, Florida State and West Virginia, they'll both be moving on to round number 2. Your final stats. Kellen Moore. Yikes. 13-23, 132 yards. On the other side, Manuel, not too much better, but no interceptions. It's always a plus. Freeman, 11 rushes for 92 yards and a touchdown. Doug Martin, 14 tries, 37 yards. Receiving, you see Efa, Boldevine, Gabe Linehan, Miller, Mitch Burrows. And then Freeman, Reed, Rodney Smith. Defensively, though, we got to look at this. I mean, down the line for Florida State, they played really well on defense to be able to hold the Broncos to no points. Terrence Parks with the 2 interceptions. And on the Boise State side of things, yeah, you see it there. Let's close it out. Let's take a look at some team stats. First downs. Like I said, it wasn't a pretty offensive battle. It was defense all the way. And the red zone conversions, Florida State, 4 turnovers compared to 0 for the Seminoles. It's part of where that loss came from. 3 interceptions, about even on total yards. And I mean, it was pretty even all the way through. I think the biggest factor was the four turnovers. So that'll do it. Let's take a look at the brackets.